I'll be honest, I did not expect to see this, but one thing for sure is that this week has been very crazy for Spider-Man 2, and you all know exactly what I'm talking about, but what happened after is where things get even better. From fans going crazy off the remodels or potential supposed remodels, should we say, of MJ and Peter, Insomniac taking to Twitter to confirm more things that we did not know, plus more info on the pre-order trailer showcasing the new suits, small details that are now officially added into the game, and lastly, 3 other villains that were referenced in the recent game trailer that you may have actually overlooked. We have tons to get through. If you could leave a like, it helps a ton, but turn that into a dislike if you get to the end and did not enjoy the video. So first things first, the internet once again is going crazy, but this time it is about what most fans thought was a complete remodel slash a new actor for MJ, but James Stevenson has actually took to Twitter to confirm that hey, actually, nothing has changed. It's the exact same face model and actress, which is actually pretty crazy, as what this has shown is simply the power of the PlayStation 5 and its technology, not just from the visuals alone, but the smaller details like lighting, etc., which all in all make me even more eager to see specifically some more nighttime footage of things like combat, explosions, etc. Of course, there was that small glimpse of Venom, which was great as it did actually give a quick glance on how the night world, so to say, looks in this game. Same applies to when we got that sort of overview of New York as well, which looks very cool in my opinion, but it's the smaller, vibrant details at nighttime that I feel have really stood out to me, so that's why I'm just very eager to see some more raw gameplay footage of nighttime combat. Now, this is where things do get even better. So, people can actually now be seen through windows in buildings, and yes, wait for it, they are indeed animated. Now, if you skip to the first part when you first switch to Miles and you look at the building on the right in the first trailer, you actually see 2 people. Now, one of which happens to be exercising. Now, I cannot stress enough on how amazing this small attention to detail is. It bugged me so much in the first game, probably more than it should have, but more importantly, why this small detail is so crucial, or vital should we say, is because it's the small things like this that simply make the world feel so much more alive. And knowing the map size too, I'm really hoping things would genuinely feel a lot more dense and bigger. And the question is if these details are actually limited or if they're basically just everywhere, and if we can randomly go to a building and see people interacting inside, if there's office buildings, etc., and most importantly, if we can freely walk into shops without getting that weird angle that we had in the first game, like when you randomly attend a robbery, but then it kind of just goes to like that wide angle. That was a little bit annoying, so I'm genuinely hoping that we can actually go inside and see those interiors, like with the first Spider-Man game when we had the E3 trailer, when he was just like running through the cafe. Like, that is perfect. That's exactly what I want to see, and you know, see these environments where these NPCs are actually interacting, and I guess you could say acting a lot more human for the most part. Now, what is interesting as well is we can also catch a glimpse of a new gadget that isn't used in the demo or detailed in the official blog post, but if you actually take a look at the icon at the top, it looks like a missile slash rocket, whatever you want to say, and if we keep it simple, I'm assuming it will quite literally be that, but it could be something completely different. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Now, as far as other small details go, I'm really hoping to see more destruction footage when in combat, especially with Venom, as what we do know is we can ultimately break walls, etc. Basically, situational takedowns, so to say. That's what it's called, right? Now, with that said, Insomniac did take to Twitter to answer some more questions, and the first was a fan asking about when we can actually expect a pre-order trailer, like what we got with the first game, to which Insomniac responded simply by saying, and I quote, "It's something on our list to try and do this summer." And I'll be honest, it is something that I thought we would have got a lot sooner, as in we would have had by now, but more specifically when the pre-orders actually dropped. But there's that, here we are, and also technically we are in summer now, so I'd like to think possibly we will see this trailer towards the end of August. That's my theory. It could come a lot sooner, but I feel like that's probably a lot more realistic. Now, before we continue, I've got a very cool sponsor that, believe me, you are going to absolutely love, especially as Spider-Man fans. So let's roll the ad and then we'll continue into the 3 other villains teased in the recent trailer and more. Say goodbye to boring posters and hello to metal posters from Spider-Man, Harry Potter, Avengers, and just so much more that you will never buy a standard poster ever again. Today's video is sponsored by Display, the #1 place to go for the most incredible posters. But wait, not just any posters, metal posters designed to capture your unique passions. The best part is you don't need to drill any holes into your wall either, because it comes with a magnetic mount and a protective leaf, as you can see on screen, and it's super easy to install. You literally just put the protective leaf on the wall and then you put the magnet on top of it and you hold it down for about 5 seconds. And the reason why this is so cool is because it literally does 0 damage to your walls. And on top of that, you can also see the most amazing posters that I've got that are just super easy to swap out once your mount is actually up. I mean, it doesn't get more convenient than this, literally. And with over 40,000 artists and 1.3 million designs, there are tons to choose from Star Wars, Harry Potter, Spider-Man, right down to some very cool looking designs to really bring some life to your room. Now, not only does your purchase support the artists who make these, but for every display sold, a tree is planted. And I've listed some of my favorite posters on my page for you to grab too. And if you get 1 to 2, you get a 20% discount, or if you buy 3 or more, you get a 30% discount. It's a great alternative to the standard paper impressions or just the canvas posters or prints that you would actually get. So check out Display and some of my favorite display posters with a link in the description below. Now, the new Spider-Man 2 PS5 trailer references 3 other villains from the past. We have Hydro Man, Big Wheel, and Speed Demon. Now, these references, I just quickly want to add here, shouldn't be taken as a sign that these villains will actually appear in the game. And I'm just assuming that these were hidden Easter eggs in this trailer specifically for fans. That said, I do believe though we are going to see a lot more unexpected faces in upcoming trailers, and even once the game is here. As of course, if we just go back to the basics, Kraven is basically hunting anyone, whoever he can for the most part, so there is no doubt that we will be shocked with who we actually see either in the upcoming trailers or of course the gameplay itself once we do have our hands on the game. Now, we've been given a ton of new info this past week, and minus the Venom details and footage, I can only assume that Insomniac and Sony will be very strategic with what they show, as they can't just go ahead and show everything, as no doubt there would be a lot of controversy, like when they dropped that first gameplay video as well. So I'm expecting a lot of aspects will feel very similar to the other games, as that technically was the framework for the most part. And not long ago, I believe it was Game Rant that actually posted an article saying how they felt Spider-Man 2 has already made a very big mistake, which in short is just they have set very high expectations based on the previous games. And the big question is, well, how are they actually going to deliver on that? And for the most part, it's going to be very hard for the devs to actually keep up on. That said, however, in all honesty, I think this is turning out to be way bigger than we first thought, and bear in mind, we've not even seen the map from a full view yet, let alone some raw free roam gameplay, which is always fun to see. But everything they have shown so far feels very fresh, and a lot of it is environmental and how you can actually interact with your surroundings. And one thing that I felt the first game lacked was NPC interaction and just reactions in general, minus the selfies, which was actually a cool touch. But what I'm talking about and what I'm hoping for there to be is a lot more sort of interaction for the most part, especially where there could potentially be different responses to you depending on which Spider-Man you are. I think that would actually be cool. But then it kind of full circles back to what I mentioned earlier in the video as well, where we're talking about environmental places in the game, and where I said, you know, back with the first original Spider-Man game that we got at E3 for the PlayStation 4, and when we saw Spider-Man running through the cafe and there were people sitting in there interacting, that's what I'm really hoping to see. You could just randomly walk past these shops, go inside, and actually randomly come across those crimes, and you just don't get the wide angle, because that was slightly strange. But again, I do feel we are going to go past that. At least that's what I very much hope for anyway, because really it does boil down to the power of the PlayStation 5, and it definitely can enable something like that to happen. So there is that. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below, and check out the video that you see on screen right now, because this game has added features for fans that seriously is going to take your gameplay experience to a whole new level. Check out the video right now.